Welcome to WTMB Info Voter Series. I'm Tony Miles, and I have an awesome guest with me today, and her name is Pam Edgemon. And I am so glad that you are here with me today.
Thank you so much, Miss Tony. I appreciate you taking this opportunity to quiz me and to see what makes me qualified to be on the city council.
Well, you are running for the City Council, 3rd District.
Yes, ma'am.
And so why don't you tell us why you offered yourself up as a candidate?
My passion has always been good government. I have put my neck on the line before as a candidate, but not for this position. I have never been elected, and this is a nonpartisan race. My precincts are Stewart and Prospect.
Okay.
And my husband and I have been in the city now for 2 years.
Okay.
And we were in the county, Bradley County, prior to that. So I've just been asked by different people in that area, well, Pam, why don't you just try to serve us here in this city council position? So that's why I'm willing to put my neck on the line. And a big reason, I am female, and there are no females serving on the city council. None.
You're right. Yeah.
None. And it's been a long time. I think Bambi Hines was the last female that served from the 1st District way back years ago. And in our 2010 U.S. Census says there's 52.4% females in the city of Cleveland.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And there is no representation. Now, men and women think differently. And I have been going to the city council meetings for the last couple of years, and on different issues they talk about, I think, well, why don't we talk about this or that? You know, that's not brought up.
Yes.
Not that I have all the answers, but at least females need to have a voice at that table. And I'm very qualified. I was in the legal profession for 14 years with attorneys Phil Iron Wilson.
Okay.
And then I was asked by Governor Ned Ray McWhirter to come to state government with the Tennessee Department of Safety. My job with them was the legislative liaison, so I worked with our 132 senators and representatives to pass all the bills that Governor McWhirter said we needed for the state and stop those that were adverse to the Tennessee Department of Safety, and we batted 100%.
All right.
So I'm used to negotiating, I guess, is my point that I would bring to the table of the city council and to work with. And of course, Governor McWhirter was a Democrat. This race is nonpartisan. But Governor McWhirter said, yeah, we got here as Democrats, but we're here to serve every citizen in this state.
Yes.
And I said, yes, sir. And I was contacted by both parties or no party affiliation and said, can you help me with driver's license, my title? And then if they were having trouble getting through other departments, they would say, can you help me get through to the Department of Revenue or Commerce or whatever? And because you're on the inside,
right,
you can get those doors open easier.
Yes.
So that was a pleasure to be able to do. And speaking of Governor Ned Ray McWhirter, in 1993, he and the Lieutenant Governor, John Wilder, from the Senate, as well as Speaker Jimmy Navy from the House, are the ones who signed our revised charter for Cleveland, Tennessee.
Wow.
And that's when I was there in his administration, while Senator Lou Patton's the one who brought the revised, which created our city manager form of government. So I was, you know, there helping to see that all this has happened. And along with the 14 years in the legal profession, I also had 5 years with financial institutions, which was Morgan Stanley here. So I was a sales clerk. I don't have a license to do financial investments, but I enjoyed, they left town, and so that ended the job basically for me. I don't have a full-time job now, so I can give my full-time attention to that part-time job.
I hear you.
And what I've observed, and there's a lot of tedious work that has to go on if you investigate things yourself. I'm not a yes person.
Okay, I hear you.
You know, I'm not going to, just because you tell me this is the way it is, That's not factual for me. I need to look and find out and know what all the resources are to be able to make a good decision for
Yeah.
the people in the 3rd District. And speaking of the 3rd District, I have been looking at the list of those who voted in the presidential primaries back in March. And so 2,100 of the 6,000 registered voters voted. So that's like 35%
Yes.
of the population has voted. And then I knew 300 or 400 who hadn't voted for
Okay.
some reason.
Okay.
So I am communicating with all of them and going to ask them personally for their vote for this election. But I look at that list every day for some reason or another, and the majority of them are female.
Wow.
So again, that voice is not being heard.
Yes.
I'm certainly willing to speak up and to talk about what issues need to be said. I've always been an advocate for women and children. I currently serve on the Family Resource Agency Board, which
Yes.
has the
Head Start.
Head Starts, early Head Starts, pre-Ks, as well as the Family Violence program
yeah,
is
yes.
under them as well.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I just, want us to have a voice and make sure that we're serving all of the people. And we are a diverse community now. Many languages
Yes,
are being
we do.
spoken. Cultures that are here in Cleveland that have come because of Lee University, which is a good
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
But still, we need to make sure if they're helping pay their share of taxes, that they get the benefits and the good things that the city of Cleveland has to offer as well. So that's why I'm putting myself out there. My husband, Jim, was part owner of the Cleveland Tire Center. Of course, he's been retired, and he fills in as an armed security guard now with the Church of God headquarters.
Okay.
So he's still working and contributing back as well. So education is the big issue for me. I think all of our children need to have the best possible education they can have. And somehow we are failing to come to the middle of education plus the jobs that we have.
Okay.
We have like 3.9% unemployment, but we have a lot of working poor. I mean, if you have a family of 4 and you're only making $8 an hour, you can't support your family.
No, you can't.
On that kind of money. So, and what we're told is, well, the employment industry wants you to have better education. And so I think they're working with Cleveland State and Lee University to try to get folks who haven't been to school for a while to try to get updated. But also there's going to be a new grammar school over on the west end of our city.
Okay.
It's on Georgetown Road, as I understand now.
Yes.
They're laying the plans to do that. And it would house 500 new students to be moved there. But it would be built for 700. And they tell me, the school board does, that there's already that many students that are piled up in other of our city schools that can be moved there as soon as it's built. But how are we going to pay for it?
Yeah, that's the question
Is
I was
the
getting ready
issue.
to ask.
Yeah, how are we going to pay for it? In my going to the meetings, I've heard some of the councilmen talk about, well, one day we might have to raise property taxes. Of course, they're not doing it this year because half of them are running, for re-election. So that I'm sure will fall on those of us who might be new. And so my husband and I are on fixed incomes. We're senior adult classification. A lot of my constituents are in that same boat. Their children and grandchildren are probably already through school. But, it behooves us as a society to raise up children on the front end rather than risk paying for on the back end of their behavior or lack of it. I mean, it just shows love that you care about your children and that you want the best for them. And all of our children deserve to have the best that they can have. It's not per particular area of the city.
Right.
All of them should have the best they can have. So that will be an issue as to, well, am I willing to raise property taxes. And again, I said we just moved there a couple of years ago, and so our tax rate, our property tax rate doubled. You know, you pay the county and then you pay in the city part too, and so, you know, it's an issue. And I want to look at all the resources and all the other opportunities we have to, but I'm not going to run away from it.
I hear you.
I am not running away from it because our children deserve to have the best education they can have. And, you know, whatever, and I'll listen to my constituents, of course, in the 3rd District as to what they think. But ultimately, me and the Lord are going to have to decide what my position would be about that. But, you know, it's a good opportunity. We are growing. Our city is gaining population.
Yes.
But again, it seems to be growing with more females. And as we know, females, if that 52.4% female, we know more than half of them are heads of household.
Yes.
And a lot of them don't have fathers' participation in the rearing of those children.
Yes.
And I currently serve on both of our Mayor Rowland and Davis's housing coalition.
Yes.
And
Very familiar.
I've been there for a couple of years. And my particular interest is transitional housing.
Yes.
So
it's needed.
It's needed.
Greatly.
And, you know, to make sure, worked with a lady on that committee that is with the Salvation Army. And they were looking at Westmore Church of God, which is right there where I live. Maybe buying that property on 25th Street. Well, that has fallen through, as I understand. So, but they were going to make that into a transitional housing facility. Of course, it'd be faith-based, but they would offer mental and physical health and all kinds of other amenities that a lot of people don't have. But particularly families with children, so they're not sleeping in their cars and they're not having to be in tents out behind the Walmart or something.
Right.
But so those are my interests and my passion, and again, I'm willing to give what I have to help all those that, and I don't have a personal agenda. I don't have big bucks pushing me.
I hear you.
At all. And I don't own a lot of property that I'm not insinuating anything. I'm just telling it like it is.
Okay.
So.
Well, I have truly, truly enjoyed our conversation today and learned a lot more. I've seen you around in the community with my work at the Caring Place and things like that.
Thank you very much.
So I do know your heart.
Yeah.
And but I want to give you an opportunity to speak with our voters out here. And you have about a minute.
Okay.
And look through that camera right there and tell the voters of the 3rd District why they should vote for you, Miss Pam.
Thank you, Ms. Tony. Again, I am representing the 3rd District. That's an open seat. It is vacated by Councilman Johnson, who is running at large, but it's an open seat. What a better time to come and put my neck on the line. I have been asked to do that, and I would love to serve you as your city councilwoman. There are no women serving now. I'm very capable. I'm not a yes person. I will think for myself on my own 2 feet. My background says that I am capable of doing that. And so I would ask for your vote on August the 4th. But please, if you're really interested in me, go and vote early, July the 15th through the 30th. And I would appreciate your vote very much. And thank you for your opportunity to let me serve you.
Thank you, Ms. Pam Edgemon. You have done an awesome job showing us today why you are running for the 3rd District City Council position. I'd like to say to our WTMB family, thank you for joining us today. It has been my pleasure to host Ms. Pam and others. So I bid you good day.